Edmonton, the Canadiens, and the Oilers. And we begin, as always, by introducing you to the starting netminders tonight. Peter Budaj makes his first start of the season. He was excellent as a backup last year, and he's got 14 wins against the Oilers in his career, more than any other opponents in the National Hockey League. And Devin Dubnyk trying to get his first win of the season. His numbers so far this season are not pretty, but Budaj gets the start tonight. Likely Carey Price getting the home start in BC on Saturday night when they face the Vancouver Canucks. The referees tonight are Tom Cowell and Mike Lego. Linesmen are Don Henderson and Kyle Murchison. Josh Georges is in the starting lineup tonight. Told you that he was going to be a game-time decision, and the decision has been made that he will not miss a game. He has not missed one of the last 2 seasons. Puck dumped in just inside the Edmonton line, but not further. And here comes Edmonton back the other way, straight up the middle. It's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins drops it off to Hall. There's a penalty cut coming up to the Canadiens. Delayed penalty call in effect, and Emily can't get into the short side there. And early, Montreal takes a tripping penalty, and the Edmonton Oilers get the first power play.
Calling number 17, 2-minute minor tripping.
Tony Bork is on the back check, and he reaches in with his stick, slashing at the puck, and it doesn't quite work. He's a step behind as he reaches in on Nugent-Hopkins and tries to chop the stick, but when Nugent-Hopkins gives a little bit of a move, he ends up taking the leg out. And not the situation the Montreal Canadiens wanted to start with. They barely got the puck over center ice on the first shift, and now they have to kill the first penalty.
Edmonton's power play so far is the 11th overall in the National Hockey League. They're 3 for 12, and all 3 of those goals have come here on home ice. Montreal with a penalty kill, tied for 15th, right in the middle of the pack of the National Hockey League. Their penalty killing was 2 for 3 last night against the Flames. And right away they send the Oilers back into their own zone to reset. It's Hopkins, who's playing just his 2nd game of the season. He played the other night on Monday. His first game since April after having shoulder surgery near the end of last season.
Played a whopping 28 minutes in that game. 28-12 to be exact.
Here's Justin Schultz, his 2nd season in Edmonton. What a wizard he was on the power play last year for the Oilers. He's got the puck right now. Schultz looks around, drops it off, top of the circle for Nugent-Hopkins. Here's Taylor Hall. Hall in behind the net, trying to find a little room there against Georges. And the penalty killer sent it down the ice. In on Devin Dubnyk.
Great job by the Canadiens down low, forcing Hall with the puck. 2 men on him down low, created the turnover, and the Hats were able to get it down. The Hats have allowed a power play goal in each game so far this season. Something that they really want to shore up and have a perfect night on the PK.
Nail Yakupov, number 64, still looking for his first goal in this early part of the season. He had 17 of them last season. Led the Oilers in that category. As a rookie, Travis Moore finds the loose puck and sends it down the ice.
Once again, the Canadiens are holding the blue line very well, stepping up, forcing the puck carrier to make a play at the blue line. The Oilers don't want to dump it in. They want to make the plays at the blue line.
Cross ice pass, and it's carried in there by Jordan Eberle, but again, the puck is loose. It goes off the leg, and Yakupov's able to keep it in. Here's Ryan Smith. Smith, who was a healthy scratch on Monday. That does not happen often here in Edmonton for a long-time Oiler. Here's side pass for Alex Hemsky, who's their leading scorer right now. Guy who wasn't sure whether or not he was still going to be an Oiler when this season began. And that is offside of the line with just 5 seconds remaining in the penalty to Bork.
Alex Hemsky is in his 11th season as you see Michel Therrien looking on. Good penalty kill so far, but Hemsky, you said it, Dave, wasn't sure if he was going to be here. He and Craig McTavish. McTavish wanted to make changes. Hemsky was one of the guys he said he was going to change. Horkoff was the other. He moved Horkoff, but I give McTavish credit. He sat down, he faced the public, and he said, you know what? We've had our discussions. Things are going to work out. Alex Hemsky is going to be a big part of our team, and as you said, he's leading the team so far in scoring, and he's looked very good early in the season for the Edmonton Oilers.
Dallas Aikens, the coach, said he's been their best player in terms of compete level as Brendan Gallagher gets a shot on net. Gallagher born here in Edmonton and moved away when he was 12 years old. He's got lots of friends and relatives in the crowd tonight in his first opportunity to play in Edmonton.
Well, Brendan Gallagher was on the all-rookie team last year, and this is why. He takes pucks wide. He's not afraid to put pucks to the net. He's one of a few Habs that has consistently this year and last year went to the dirty areas to make plays and score goals. And he's been missed the first game last year, and he's been in every game since.
Thomas Plekanec centering the two galleys, Gallagher and Alex Galchenyuk, and another penalty call coming up against the Canadiens. This one is going to be against Galchenyuk, tripping again. And back-to-back power play opportunities for the Oilers, and we're not 3 minutes into this game.
Well, these are lazy penalties. Both penalties.
Montreal penalty 27. It's a minor tripping.
Both penalties come off of playing behind the opposition, not moving your feet. And you can see Galchenyuk again going for the puck on a slash, and he takes Nick Schultz's feet out, much like Bourque in the first penalty. Instead of continuing to skate and catch up with your opponent and maybe cut them off, work your angles, you try to reach in, go for the stick, and if you miss, that's what happens. You're in the box. Just lazy penalties, reaching in, slashing, instead of moving your feet and chasing.
Last season, Montreal was 23rd on the penalty kill, a category they were excellent at. The previous season, they were second overall. They did not allow a shot in that first power play chance against the Oilers here tonight. Making that puck off on the fly and moving down the right side is David Perron, the new Oiler. Prior to that trade with St. Louis for Magnus Pajärvi. And once again, the Oilers are backed up. Here comes Hall. Taylor Hall flips it far side, bounces away from Perron, who scored his first goal as an Oiler in that big win against the Devils here on Monday. To the line, not out. Justin Schultz keeps it in, gives it to Hall. Hall down low. In front they go, and it's knocked aside by Rafael Diaz, and now it's on Brandon Prust's stick and down the ice.
The Montreal Canadiens are doing a very good job outworking the Edmonton Oilers down a man. They've got to continue this when they kill this penalty to play 5-on-5. They seem to have good anticipation and good jump, winning battles on the board so far in the penalty kill.
There were two key penalties taken by the Canadiens in the third period last night, both of them by PK Subban. And they picked right up where they left off last night, putting themselves short-handed. 44 seconds to go. Here's Yakupov dangling in, does not get a shot. Markov to the line, kept in by Anton Belov, number 77. A new addition to that defensive core, short side, trying to poke it in there on Budaj, who shut the door against Yakupov. Centering pass ends up on the stick of Eller, and here comes Lars Eller. Into the zone, flicks it in on Dubnyk off his blocker right in front of the net. And it's picked up again by Belov. They're excited about this guy. A good size, 6'4", 220. Played in the KHL the last 5 seasons.
Well, Dallas Eakins definitely loves Anton Bell, but Dallas Eakins has come into this Edmonton Oilers organization. He's trying to calm things down. He's trying to bring in his coaching style that he had with the Toronto Marlies and the Toronto Maple Leaf organization, working with young players, putting them in positions where they're going to excel, and holding them accountable, something I don't think in Edmonton it's been happened for a while. Eakins is a very disciplined person himself in his own lifestyles and the way he played the game, and he understands that you have to hold yourself accountable on everything you do, and that's getting pucks out, that's getting pucks in, that's hitting the net, that's blocking shots. And he's got great lines of communication, and so far so good with his team in Edmonton.
You know what else he wants to do, Dave? He wants to eliminate the term young team from the vernacular here in Edmonton.
Well, he could do that in a few years when they become an old team.
Power play is over. One shot for the Oilers. It's still scoreless here as Gianca puts it in on Dubnyk, who's not going to take his chances with any rebound. He'll cover up. 5 minutes in, and Montreal's penalty killing is 2 for 2.
Devin Dubnyk has struggled a little bit so far this year. Defenseman Justin Schultz is one of the best defensemen as far as moving the puck up ice on the ice today. You'll see a lot of him. He's got tremendous wheels. He, along with Gallagher, were on the NHL All-Rookie team last year. Justin Schultz is tremendously talented offensively, and sometimes with that great offense comes some poor giveaways, and that's exactly what Edmonton is trying to work on with their young, and I will say young because he is a young defenseman, and Justin Schultz.
It was an intense bidding war for Justin Schultz. As you look at another guy who's into the lineup tonight, there's Nathan Beaulieu, who played a handful of games for the Canadiens, 6 of them last season. He gets in. Jared Tenorti is a healthy scratch. Here's Beaulieu now. The pass across to Bouillon.
Julio Dave, another player like Schultz, more of an offensive-minded than defensive-minded, and something that he's going to work on. Tenorti, more of a defensive-minded defenseman. And Bolio can move the puck and skate with it extremely well.
Now, both he and Tenorti got late season auditions last year, and both did a pretty good job. Two different types of defensemen. And we got another penalty call here.
Edmonton penalty. It's a minor penalty for cross-checking.
Yakupov for the cross-check.
Yakupov wasn't really sure, even though he was pointed at by the referee on the call. He really wasn't sure where the penalty was. Along with, I think, everybody in the Edmonton bench. This is a game where not a lot is going to be allowed. We saw the penalty for cross-checking for Subban yesterday late in the game against Calgary that forced his team to play shorthanded in the final minute. And right now we've got just over 5 minutes into the game, and we've seen our third penalty called.
Montreal's power play comes into tonight, 16th in the NHL. They've got 3 power play goals. One of them came last night from Subban, who rockets his first shot of the night. That's off the glass, right back to the point. He keeps it moving to Lars Eller.
Time 5 minutes 24.
Subban goes across to Markov. His drive right on, and Dubnyk stands tall. Easy for him. He's a big guy. Here's Subban again. Quick snapshot, flutters over the net. Picked up by Briere. Briere to Max Pacioretty, still looking for his first goal. So is Briere. Briere along the boards. Didn't get a lot of power play time last season in Philly. Here's Markov. Subban with a drive, and Dubnyk again makes the save, and there is no rebound.
Subban can shoot it as well as anybody, as Lars Eller down low was making some nice moves with the puck. Great job of controlling the puck and regaining control with Pacioretty, Eller, and Briere working the puck and creating the opportunities to get it back to Markov and over to Subban. PK Subban can shoot the puck with the best of them in the National Hockey League. And that's definitely a key on the power play for Montreal, is to set up the big shot, create traffic in front, and go for the rebounds or screens.
And the 2 big shots remain out there on the power play. Fresh forward unit up front. 15 goals on the power play combined between Andrei Markov and PK Subban. And here comes the reigning Norris Trophy winner. Over center, dumps it in, rings it around the boards. Where it's met by Gallagher. Gallagher gets a little help from Galchenyuk. Now it's Markov. To Galchenyuk. He's double teamed, goes into the corner. Gallagher's out in front. Subban, one-timer. Off a leg into the far boards and down the ice.
Once again, setting up Subban for the shot. Edmonton is starting to read that a little bit more. You're going to see they'll probably play a little closer on Subban, trying to eliminate the shot, because off that shot, if it's not going in, it can create rebounds, deflections.
Here's Gallagher following up. Good quick shot. Rebound. Diaz got a shot away that was blocked right in front of Dubnyk. Good pressure here. No score yet. 27 seconds to go. The man advantage. Bolio on the power play. Corrals the puck. Goes down low. They send it across, and it caroms away from Diaz and all the way down the ice.
Like Plakamps was trying to maybe catch Dubnyk, not looking, trying to throw it in his feet, just threw it through the crease and caught a bad bounce. Diaz wasn't able to hold it in.
Around the boards it goes, just 3 seconds remaining in the penalty, and Yakupov stepping out of the box right now. 3 shots on net so far in that power play. Here's Yakupov in there, shoots, Budaj to save, rebound is cleared. Might be that type of night. Back and forth they go. Here comes Darnay down the right side, chases it into the corner. Puck is knocked away by Justin Schultz, who gets it to his partner, and they'll reset from the back end. Shots are 6-3 right now in favor of the Canadiens. Here's Hall, stops up, snaps a shot, and Budaj had to be sharp with a blocker. He's got a heavy release.
Taylor Hall can score from the outside in this league on any goaltender.
Josh Georges was hammered by Luke Gastic, and he's going to have to answer the bell right away. Brandon Prust wasted no time as Gastic took a healthy run as Georges and Prust, as he's done all last season, makes the opponent answer for their actions. Brandon Prust, a far more experienced fighter at this level than Luke Gastic, was hanging in pretty good. And he takes Prust down. What a tilt that was.
Lots of rights being thrown by both guys, but Brandon Prust just seemed to run out of gas and fall down at the end, but great job by Prust stepping up for his teammates.
A wild one already in Edmonton.
His teammate, and you see Gazdic comes in, a good clean check, finishing his check on Josh Georges, and right away Prust comes off the boards. Gazdic seems to drop the gloves first, but because Georges is a little soft from last night, he only played a one short shift in the third period. Prust made sure that, hey, you're not going to take liberties with one of our veteran defensemen. Prust steps in and does a great job with Gazdic. Gazdic, fourth line player for the Edmonton Oilers, doesn't see much ice. He does actually catch it. Prust fell down, but he says he's falling back. Gazdic comes across with a right, but you can see Prust down on the ice. No worse for wear, but a great job by both young men throwing bombs.
Gazdic's kind of an interesting story. The Oilers went out and signed a tough guy, a mountain of a guy, Steve McIntyre. Then he got hurt in a preseason game against the Dallas Stars trying to hit Gazdic, who was then with the Stars. After the game, they put him on waivers, and with McIntyre hurt, the Oilers said, okay, we'll take him. And he got on their bus, and now he's an Oiler.
It just goes to show you never know who's watching. Play your best at all times, because if one guy doesn't like you, somebody else might want you and like you that much more, and it happened to Luke Gazdic. Scored a goal in his first game, his first shift in the National Hockey League this season.
And he just had a heavyweight tilt there with a very experienced fighter in Prust, who had 10 fights last season. That is his second so far this season. Both players getting 5 each. Here's Taylor Hall. Hall, who started this season playing center because Nugent Hopkins wasn't healthy, and they're still waiting a while for Sam Gagne as he suffered a broken jaw in a couple of places after a stick swinging incident in a preseason game against the Vancouver Canucks. And a gaping hole in the middle of the ice. There's a shot attempt by Plekanec that's knocked out, but the quick hands of Gallagher has got it. Gallagher with that sneaky release. Trying to get one away. And it goes up and into the crowd. Here are two guys that have got to get it going, Reader.
No question that Daniel Briere and David Desharnais, you can see from last season, they struggled it pretty much for the whole year, with Briere with 6 goals in 34 games. Desharnais had a slow finish with 3 goals in his final 26. Both of these players need to get on the board and need to be consistent contributors for the Montreal Canadiens. They play big roles, they play big minutes, but so far this season they have not found any offense. The Habs need them to get going if they want to be successful this season.
Michel Therrien has been juggling the lines as much as he can. There's been so much penalty killing and power play time already in this first 9.5 minutes, but you can see Plekanec is with Gallagher and Galchenyuk. That is one change that's taken place tonight. Here is Jeff Petrie and Jordan Eberle with it now. Eberle trying to feed it ahead to Perron, following up as Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. I know he's going to play 28 minutes a night. That is an extraordinary number for a forward, isn't it?
No question about it. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, give him credit. He said, well, if I need to do it again the next night, I'll do it. But no question, you won't see that very often.
Here they come back the other way. Whole shot is corralled by Budaj, and he will hang on for the faceoff. 9:57 to go here in the first period. Lots going on at Rexall tonight. You're watching the Canadiens. Back to Rexall. This was the scene about an hour and a half before puck drop here. This is a pregame routine of Alex Galchenyuk. He always gets the heavy puck out and works on his stick handling here. He seems to do this all the time. Perhaps it's a habit he picked up in his days as a member of the Sarnia Sting in the Ontario Hockey League, because moments later, his former Sarnia teammates and line mates, Nail Yakupov, was out there doing some things, and he had this little twist to his pregame routine there, Reader. Very nice. And then he also does this. He takes 3 backhanders. Apparently he does this every night at a water bottle. No, this one, though, has got a chance. Very close, but no. Galchenyuk and Yakupov, 2 guys that one is 19, the other one just turned 20. That was Yakupov, turned 20 last Sunday. And they were members of a very high-scoring line in Sarnia, the OHL. As rookies, they tore up that league.
Oh, they really did. Nail Yakupov and Alex Galchenyuk, the first overall OHL pick and the first overall import draft was Yakupov, but they dominated. Scored a goal in their first game in Sarnia. Coach Dave McQueen, and they were exciting to watch. Not very fun to play against them.
Bulls still looking for their first goals here in the early part of this season. In fact, Yakupov still looking for his first points. Past the midway mark now. What's been an eventful first period here. Second game of a 4-game road trip for the Canadiens. It'll see them go to Vancouver on Saturday and then wrap up in Winnipeg next week before they go back home to the Bell Center. Edmonton is leaving for a 6-game road trip right after this. Here's Hall in behind the net, centers it. Bulai gets it up high, lost his mask, and plays whistle down immediately for goaltender's safety. That was a quick release, and it just hit him.
It's a great setup by Hall behind the net, but Budaj did a really nice job of moving over. His helmet, or the whole mask, popped right off immediately. As you can see, he's kind of joking about it, getting it ready to put back together. But he tucked his head down low. Hall does a nice job of coming behind the net and sees Schultz stepping in, Justin Schultz stepping in, and you can see Budaj pull his chin down, and he comes across, and you can see the goaltender Budaj jump up with his shoulders. He knows the only place to score is over the shoulder, short side. That's where Schultz was going, and as Budaj rose up with his shoulders, it caught him right up under the chin, knocked the helmet and the mask completely off. Great stop by Budaj. A really nice setup by the Edmonton Oilers, and Justin Schultz stepping in.
First start of the season for Peter Budaj, who was excellent as Carey Price's backup last season. 8-1-1 in his 10 starts. Reader, he lost his first start last season against Ottawa and did not lose in regulation again. Won 8 consecutive games to finish the season, as a matter of fact. Became a very reliable go-to guy for Michel Therrien and responded every time out.
If you've got the 1-2, that's exactly what you need. You put your 2 in, step up, do the job.
Already floats one in on Dubnyk, who did not get the start in Edmonton's lone win here on Monday. And he's been listening to the critics for about 3 or 4 days now. He's only played a game and a half, and he's allowed 10 goals. Here come the Oilers back the other way. Another save by Budaj on that quick release there by Mark Arcobello. Arcobello is a 25-year-old rookie in this lineup who's found himself on the second line playing some center. Centering attempt knocked down by Bouillon. Bouillon digging forward in the skates. Everly is in there as well. Petrie, the defenseman, had stepped up. That one takes a bounce off the stanchion and stays in. Here's Nugent Hopkins, loose puck right in front, and it's cleared at the last second there by Bouillon. Loose puck near side for Plekanec, backhander and towards the net. Back of the goal goes Brendan Gallagher. And Edmonton comes back the other way with Nugent Hopkins. Angled into the corner there by Beaulieu. To Plekanec, and they're away. Here's Thomas Plekanec again. To center, dumps it in, takes the heavy hit there from Mike Brown, and he'll go to the bench.
Both teams, Dave's wanting to stretch it out, really get some speed through the neutral zone both ways.
Here comes Michael Bourneval. Takes a quick shot, gets the rebound, centers it in front. Mullen is there. Dubnyk gets down, and the puck is cleared. Frantic action now for the Canadiens. Subban, Markov go back and forth. Markov with a drive, and he misses on the near post. Michael Bourneval gets into the lineup tonight, just his second NHL game. He played earlier this season, 6 minutes in his NHL debut against the Flyers. And he came close to getting his first NHL goal there, all points.
Very close. He brings some good offense to that fourth line, something that the Habs didn't have. White is an aggressive player in the middle, but he doesn't have the same offense that Bourneval brings. And he showed it right on that shift with Mullen working down low. They almost banged one in.
Players whistle down at the Canadiens' blue line, still waiting the game's first goal. There's a look at Dubnyk, who's in his second full season as the #1 here in Edmonton.
Well, we're going to get a look at that opportunity. See, Devin Dubnyk puts the rebound back out, but then it's Bourneval gets it back and makes the play across to Mullen, who almost stuffs it in. You know, Devin Dubnyk, Dave, has gotten better every single season. He started at 3.57 goals against the rookie year, down to 2.71, 2.67, 2.57 last year. So for a guy who's improved his stats every year, he's taken a lot of heat early in this season and a lot of questions, including myself, saying, is this the guy who you want to have in front of this high, potent offensive group of the Edmonton Oilers? And Devan Dubnyk has proven early in this game that, you know what, yeah, he is. He's played very, very well. And he's a big man, covers a lot of net. You saw it right there. He stood tall for his team.
Hit a .920 save percentage last season as well. That was 14th in the league on a team that struggled. Look out, here comes Bourque. Bourque rings it off the post. And Dubnyk beaten there. Rene Bourque would love to score here in his home province. He saw fourth line duty last night by the end of that Flames game, and no doubt got the message loud and clear from his head coach that he needed a little bit more.
Well, he took an early penalty, but he had a couple of shifts where he's shown some energy, and that was a fantastic shot by Rene Bourque. He's got a tremendous release. Takes him a little bit to get it off, but he had lots of time here. As you can see, he comes in just above the dot, and he rings it off the post over the glove of Devan Dubnyk. Dubnyk didn't even move, giving up lots of room on the glove side. Rene Bourque needs to be an aggressive player every single shift, game in and game out. He's a big body, and up front for the Montreal Canadiens, when he's playing that aggressive style, driving the net, he can create all sorts of offense for this team.
Oiler fans are well aware of that release and his offensive prowess when he was with the Calgary Flames, putting a back-to-back 27-goal seasons as a member of the Flames. I'm sure a few of those right here. That one back to the line where it's kept in. Here's Belloff, goes quickly across, looking for Petrie. Bouncing puck, got it away. In behind the net is Hemsky out in front, and Perron's one-timer. Budaj may have gotten a piece of that. Here's Perron again. At the line is Belloff, and then is blocked right in front by Gallagher. He chops at it again, and Plekanec races away. He's got Galchenyuk with him. Plekanec trying to feed it into Galchenyuk, and that is broken up by the Edmonton D.
There you can see the difference. Eller is off that line, and Plekanec in the middle, trying to just shake things up, get Plekanec going. Had a great opportunity with Galchenyuk and a nice 2-on-1, but they're just unable to connect.
So Lars Eller up there with Briere and Max Pacioretty now. You said he's been their best forward. Many agree right now. Lars Eller, a goal in every game so far. Here's Mike Brown trying to find that loose puck. Instead, it ends up with Briere, who gets it away to Eller. Eller in over the line. Pacioretty was able to stay on side. I thought maybe he dragged his toe in a little too early.
Yeah, Eller just couldn't get the puck through Schmid. Schmid did a nice job of cutting Pacioretty off. Pacioretty had to stop, and Eller didn't see it. Subban
moves in, shoots, and that wrist shot is handled easily by Dubnyk. 4:26 to go. First period, we're at Rexall Place. Lots of chances at either end, but no goals on the board yet in Edmonton. Our divided loyalties all around the building tonight, Reader.
No question about it. You see lots of Habs jerseys here, and as this game gets more exciting, you're seeing these end-to-end rushes, and Thomas Plekanec has a good 2-on-1, and he tries to get the pass across to his teammate, but unfortunately, being a left shot, he's got to pull the puck back, and as he does that, it allows Petrie to get the angle to knock that puck away from Galchenyuk. A right-handed shot, if it was Plekanec in that situation, would have maybe been able to either get a better shot or a better pass on that play, but unfortunately, two left shots coming down to 2-on-1. They weren't able to connect, but the game's starting to go end-to-end, Dave.
Boyd Gordon wins that faceoff cleanly there from Michael Bournival. Gordon, by the way, almost 62% on his faceoffs. Edmonton is number 2 in the league in faceoffs coming into tonight. They were dead last season. There's a shot in front, loose puck, and Hall couldn't get a shot away. Here's Bournival again, turns it over to Eberle. They try to turn it back in there, but Bournival ends up again with a puck. Muscled off of it there. On the heavy presence of Taylor Hall.
Well, there you can see Michael Bournival did a fantastic job against the number 1 line for the Edmonton Oilers. He got kind of stuck in a situation where they didn't have the last change, but Bournival did a very nice job working down low and forcing the puck to the outside, not allowing the chance down low in front of the net. But give Bournival credit. He's had a couple of good shifts, one in the offensive zone and now one in the defensive zone.
21 years of age, was 3rd in team scoring last season with Hamilton in the American League with 10 goals and 20 assists.
Well, the one thing about Michel Therrien is that if you play well, he will play you more.
And that's not a bad fourth line when you got, right now, tonight, it's Bourneval with Trust and Moen, and that's a fourth line that can chip in some offense as well.
That's exactly what Bourneval does, and that's what you want. You want to be able to put lines on the ice to create energy and to have the opportunity to score. Nothing against Ryan White. He's a good energy player, but he doesn't have the same hand skills to pick up loose pucks in the offensive zone and make them into scoring opportunities. After the first check by either Moen or Prus, that's where you're going to see Bourneval pick up those loose pucks and create some offense.
That puck goes up and out of play. What do you think of the move to get Eller off of this line with Gallagher and Galchenyuk to spread the wealth a little bit?
Well, I'm not always a fan of breaking up your hottest line, but I am a fan of trying to get two other lines going, and that's exactly what Michel Therrien's done. He's taking his top line, he's divided it a little bit. I'm going to try to get Plekanec going, and by moving Eller onto a line, maybe get Daniel Briere going, maybe get Pacioretty going. So even though you're splitting up your one line, it seems to have worked. Those two lines with the split have played pretty well in the game so far. Be interesting to see as this game goes on if he puts that threesome back together to try to generate offense.
Stoppage in play, played with a high stick. A little earlier you saw Alex Hemsky getting a little too close to Peter Budaj. Watch this.
Yeah. That was the whistle. The whistle went just as he was about to shoot the puck, and he realized he had taken a little bit late. Nobody in Montreal went at him. It's Alex Hemsky, knowing that the type of player Hemsky is, but give Hemsky credit. He did give Budaj a tap. Say, sorry, I know that was just maybe a half second late on that shot, but Budaj was ready for it and did take the stop on it.
Alex Hemsky scored his first career goal against the Canadiens, and Jose Theodore.
I guarantee if that was Luke Gazdic doing that, there might have been a little scrum in front of Peter Budaj.
Oh, trying to deal with Pacioretty along the boards and Briere. They get it out of the zone. Here's Nugent Hopkins, who just was awarded that 7-year contract extension. He's in, shoots, and Budaj square to the shooter. Makes the stop on the young sniper, Ryan Nugent Hopkins.
Well, I'll tell you, this line of Nugent Hopkins with Taylor Hall and Jordan Eberle, they're going to absolutely love playing for Dallas Eakins because they're going to be on the ice regularly. Nugent Hopkins, like you said, 28 minutes. We talked about it earlier in this game. 28 minutes against New Jersey, and Eakins is going to play the guys that he thinks he's going to win with. He'll go down to 2 lines, 2 and a bit lines if he feels that is what is going to win the game. And if you're Taylor Hall, Ryan Nugent Hopkins, Jordan Eberle, you are going to be very happy that he is coaching, because the best players don't want to come off the ice. They come off, they want to be right back on, and that's what Dallas Eakins has done in the last couple of shifts here, and did it in the third period against New Jersey.
Another interesting thing about Nugent Hopkins was last season he was named Edmonton's top defensive forward. So there's a young player who clearly, obviously, understands that part of the game already. Here's Moen now. Moen on his backhand, cuts in, ran into all kinds of traffic. Puck is still loose back there. Nick Schultz kept it moving, and it's chipped up the boards, and here is Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith puts it past Deanne, goes muscling in there against Moen, who took the veteran down. Ryan Smith, who played his 1200th career game on the weekend against the Vancouver Canucks.
To Ryan about not playing against New Jersey. He said, you know what, it was good communication.
Here's Perron. Perron tries to center it, and he got in too tight. Net comes off the moorings. Face-off will stay inside the Montreal blue line.
Ryan Smith said that he had good communication with the coaching staff. He knows Craig McTavish is not going to be playing in every game. He's talked to Craig about it in the summer. Knows that Dallas Eakins is going to tell him what's going on, and that's why he didn't play. He was okay not playing. A great job right here as you see Perron come in, and a good opportunity with Hemsky. Great slide by Bouillon to force that play. and take the net off eventually. But Ryan Smith has had a fantastic career. He's had 8 seasons where he's scored 20-plus goals, many with the Edmonton Oilers, his best with the Edmonton Oilers, and now it's a different role. He's a role player. He knows he's not going to be in the lineup every day, but as this season goes on, you're going to look for third-line players. If you have Ryan Smith on your third line, you should have a pretty good team, and that's what Edmonton's trying to do up front.
His 16th year, 14th year in Edmonton. 6th overall pick in 1994. Puck is cleared down for Jeff Petrie. Edmonton's defense is still waiting for another one of their steadies back there, and Corey Potter, they like him, and they've got Dennis Grebishkov back as well from the KHL. He's injured right now.
Grebishkov would be a great addition to this team, but you talk about Ryan Smith, 1994, he was drafted. Well, this was the 1994 draft year. Yakupov was first of all born in 93. It just shows you the experience of Ryan Smith.
Long-range shot in on Budaj, but it's offside of the line with just over 1 minute remaining here in the first period. Things got to slow down after the Montreal Canadiens were forced to kill back-to-back Oiler power plays in the opening 3 minutes. They took penalties.
Peter Budaj really wasn't tested on those penalty kills, but he stopped 9 shots so far in the first period, and he's had to make a couple of very nice saves in the first period. But good period by Montreal so far. Both teams really wanted to get off to a good start, and I think they've both done that, just haven't scored.
Pacioretty in the forecheck, causing problems along the boards, but Hall digs it free. Tried to chip it past Subban, but he chipped it into his own bench. Another stoppage. I think for an opening 20 minutes, you think Therrien will be happy with this rebound performance, looking for a better start that you talked about?
I think he will. They had to kill in early 4 minutes, like you said. They did a very good job of that. Didn't allow really any solid opportunities by the Oiler power play. I think the one thing that he might want to pick up on is that getting more pucks to the net, getting more bodies to the net. There were some opportunities down low where I think the Habs could have created a second shot opportunity. They just weren't there to do it. But I think overall, for his team, Michel Therrien will be happy with the way they've bounced back.
Right here.
Lars Eller takes that puck away from Nugent Hopkins, and it's put in there by Pacioretty. Dubnyk comes out of his net. They move around the board. Pacioretty meets it back to the line. Here's Markov. Markov back into the corner, gets the return feed from Pacioretty. Wrist shot into the near corner. Try to get it back to Subban, and they do. Subban's shot goes off a stick. A ball and out of play, so the faceoff stays inside the line with 9.1 on the clock.
PK Subban just trying to get the puck to the net. He had pretty good bodies in front of the net. When you saw Daniel Briere was down in front of the net doing a good job low with Eller and Pacioretty. But pucks just weren't able to get through. Same on the far side. Markov doing the same thing, not able to get the puck through. They had good net front position, but they just weren't able to get pucks from the point into that area.
All right, Gianta is having a conversation over there with Ladislav Schmid. Schmid, who is a tough, physical, shutdown defenseman for these Edmonton Oilers. That'd be a short conversation.
Well, you know Gianta's not going to back down. He's going to push it. He's going to step right in. Schmid's.
He steps in to take that draw and pushes it forward, and this one's going to come down the ice. Icing waved off, and that'll be it. We're pretty entertaining and eventful 20 minutes here. Shots on goal were 12-9 in favor of the Canadiens, but both goalies were perfect. Budaj at one end and Devan Dubnyk at the other. The Montreal Canadiens try to avoid going 0 for Alberta. After their loss last night in Calgary, come back and there's a fight. There's a couple of penalty kills. And we are scoreless through 20 minutes here at Rexall Place. You're watching the Canadiens on TSN. Time for a little This Day in History. October 10th, 2007, Carey Price made his first career start against the Pittsburgh Penguins and won. An auspicious beginning for a guy who would become the franchise netminder, and it's a tough job indeed. You know, he's got so many masks now. It seems odd to see him now with a plain white mask, but he's got the night off tonight. It's Peter Budaj in between the pipes for the Canadiens, and as mentioned earlier, with Montreal set to play the Canucks on Saturday night. That is a start that is near and dear to Price's heart. He's from British Columbia. He will no doubt be back to work in that one. We're still waiting for the Canadiens to take to the ice. The Oilers are trickling out, and we are getting close to starting the second period. You know, Dave, I want to ask you a question. You played 17 years in the National Hockey League, and what was the biggest thing for you and your teammates when you were trying to win the second half of a tough back-to-back, particularly, you know, maybe here in Alberta? You played a lot in the West.
You're right. You did play a lot of the Calgary, Edmonton back-to-backs. And the key to playing the back-to-back and being successful is not to think you're playing back-to-back. It's just going out and playing the game the same way. A lot of players get it in their head, oh, I'm going to be tired, and you end up being tired, especially late in the game. The key to the second part of the back-to-back is that first period is to keep the game simple and try to keep pucks out of your own zone. And teams I played on, especially late in my career, were very good at doing that, and that goes a long way in winning the game.
And the Canadiens were very good at winning that game last season. As we told you earlier tonight, they were second best in the entire NHL, behind only the Chicago Blackhawks, the eventual Stanley Cup champions, and they did not lose back-to-back games in regulation until the 31st game of the season. And, you know, as you see Lars Eller getting set there to take a face-off, that interview he gave me in the first intermission, he was all business, and he said, we can do better. Everything was about being better.
And that's the way everybody needs to be. It is business. You have to get out, you have to worry about period to period, not game to game, period to period, and the point shift to shift. And Eller's done that, and that's why he's been successful. He was challenged last season early in the year by Coach Therrien, and he stepped up, answered the bell, and he's been successful ever since.
Here's a loose puck for Eller. Eller carries it over the line, looks for a little help. His backhand a pass, gets over to Pacioretty, whistles a high, hard one that goes over the shoulder of Dubnyk and all the way down the ice. Here's Andrei Markov, who played over 27 minutes last night. Markov at 34 years of age, logging major minutes there in a tough back-to-back situation. Subban dancing around the front of his own net. Gets it away and gives it up to Bourneval in over the line. Bourneval turns it over, and it's back outside the line. Following up is Subban, and play is whistled down. We got a too-many-men call here around the
Montreal bench, minor penalty, too many men on the ice.
right around the Montreal bench. So another power play opportunity for the Edmonton Oilers.
Well, Michel Therrien will not like this, and what happens in the neutral zone is the puck didn't get deep and it came back out, and you can see the Montreal Canadiens are in the middle of their line change, but Bourneval got the puck at the blue line, and instead of just putting it deep, he tried to make a play, and when the puck got redirected back into the neutral zone, that's where the Habs got caught with too many men on the ice. If the puck gets in deep, you can make your change, but it's not deep. You've got to be very careful when that puck's around your bench.
2 minutes.
Edmonton 0 for 2 on the night with a man advantage. Belov trips his shot, goes off the leg. Here's Yakupov. 6 power play goals last season. Led the Oilers in that category. Alex Hemsky fighting to keep possession of that puck. It goes into the corner where Boyd Gordon is going to dig it free. He gets it to Eberle. Eberle back to Belov. Belov moves into the middle, passes it off. Here's Hemsky. Always very dangerous. Belov again, up high, blocked right in front of him by Brandon Price. Eberle's pass fails to connect. Chance for Montreal to fire it down the ice, and they do. Off the stick of Rafael Diaz.
Excellent job by Brandon Price to get up close to Belov to take that shot away. Had nowhere to shoot. And instead of trying to pass it around, he put it right into Prust.
Edmonton has just 1 shot on net with the man advantage, and they're halfway through their third of the night. There's a look at Belov. We told you about him, the Russian, 27 years of age, a free agent signing.
Played the last 5 years in Omsk in the KHL, 6'4", 218. I was talking to Craig McTavish this morning. We're talking about both teams, and he says, you know what he sees in Belov, and the reason they were so high on him, reminds him a little bit of Yemelin, the way he plays. Alexei Yemelin in the physical play. Surprised to see him on the power play as much, but he says, you know what, Belov's been very solid for him, and he's a very physical and a nasty defenseman for the Edmonton Oilers.
Could be a late bloomer, never drafted. Here's Justin Schultz now with some room to operate. Schultz is dangerous, so is this guy. Nugent Hopkins puts it down low. Oh, in front, scores! play goal for the Edmonton Oilers, and it's 1-0.
Well, the Oilers work the puck down low, and there's Ryan Smith right in front of Peter Budaj, where he loves to take position on the power play, and it looks like he got his stick on the puck as Hall put it in front. You get a really good look at it here. It's thrown across in front. It either goes off to Smith or Budaj. As you can see, Subban takes Smith out, but as Smith is going down, he has the presence of mind, the hand-eye coordination to get the stick on the puck. Good job by Subban to clear the man, but a lot of people will say in front you should worry about the stick instead of trying to take the man out of the play. But in that situation, Smith was able to get his stick on the puck as he was going down.
Scored on the power play by number 94.
And they're giving it to Smith. First goal of the season for the 37-year-old veteran. He's got 377 career goals, and I'm thinking about 350 of them have been from right there, about a foot away from the goal.
And how's that? He didn't play last game.
There's a shot and a save by Dubnyk. Kind of a tricky one. That was through traffic.
Ryan Smith, a healthy scratch, and he comes out here and gets put on the power play and gets the first goal of the game. And you talk about stepping up when you need to. You want to stay in the lineup, that's exactly what you want to do. And Smith does this all the time. Markov comes up to block the shot, and that allows a quick 2-on-1 in front, but Subban in front just tries to take Smith out. You can see a little lack of communication by the Habs as Markov stepped up to block the shot. He probably should have stayed back, but either way, great job by Smith to redirect that pass in from Hall.
Nugent Hopkins and Hall do get the assist at 2:28 on the power play. And Montreal finds themselves trailing again on the road. At center, David Perron gets the puck back after it took a bounce, and they'll reset from the back end. There's their new captain in town, Andrew Ference, wearing number 21, the former Boston Bruin. Canadiens fans very familiar with Mr. Ference. He's from Edmonton, and he's the 14th captain in franchise history here, and happy to be here after signing a free agent deal to come home.
Well, Andrew Ference is a fitness freak like many players are, but he not only does it with his own team, he has this project, he goes November Project, and he will get up at 6 a.m. and go to different areas in the city, and he did this in Boston with some of his teammates got involved. He'll go in and he will just invite people out. It's all free, come out, and they just do exercises. It is just simple exercises at sunrise, and he speaks very proudly about it, and it gets carried over in Boston. He's brought it over here to Edmonton, so it's not just about on-ice performance for Andrew Ference, it's about being involved in the community.
You were out there this morning at 5, weren't you?
Yes, I missed it. I was a little too late.
The October Project, the little-known Reader October Project.
Well, it's good for Andrew Ference, so things like that just endear you to your community, and he does it because he enjoys doing it. There's no personal gain in it, but it's a great project. He just wants to get people active and involved in fitness. Next time we're in Edmonton, Dave, we'll make sure we get that done. We'll find out when that is.
I think that'd be good for you.
That will be good for us.
That'd be good for you.
Fortunately, we're not back till next year, though, right?
No, you're off the hook. Here comes Taylor Hall back in, takes a shot, kicked out there by Budaj. All in on the power play goal, 4.5 minutes into this second period. And they're swarming around again. Here's Markov, back out. Good pass. Another one up to Pacioretty, rolls off his stick. And that is going to be an offside. Well, on Tuesday, we continue to bring you your Habs regional hockey as the Canadiens are in Winnipeg to wrap up this road trip to take on the Jets. Live coverage begins here on your regional TSN Canadiens channel at 8 Eastern, 9 Atlantic. The MTS Center. Boy, is it nice to have all the teams visiting all the buildings again, or what?
That's the only way to do it. When you play in the league, you want to visit every building.
Here comes Bork, wide side, gets a good shot away, bounces up high on Dubnyk, and the rebound is cleared down the ice.
Actually, a couple of young guys come in today with Gallagher and Tenardi came walking in before the game, and they're looking. They didn't come in for the pregame skate. They didn't know where the locker room was. Am I going left? Am I going right? Both players hadn't been here, although Gallagher would be here in the Western Hockey League, but not to play in the National Hockey League. So it's It's definitely better for the league and better for fans when you see everybody come to their building at least once in the season.
Well, that even confused you. You thought the visitors' room was to the left, and now it's to the right because the Edmonton Oil Kings are here now, and they've taken what was the old visitors' NHL room.
It was a long time ago when I played a game in here, but yeah, I did. I'm like, but this was the locker room.
You're saying, no, David, it's this way. I'm positive.
We had to ask. We found out.
Here's Andrew Ferris. Ferris, who's played in 3 Stanley Cup Finals, 2 with Boston and 1 with the Calgary Flames in 2004. Trying to be part of a group just to get this Oilers team back into the playoffs. Been a long time. Here comes Bourneval. He's had some hop in his step tonight, and he gets a shot that is deflected up and out of play. 13:56 to go in the second, and it is 1-0 Oilers. Division championship, conference championship banners hang, but it's been an awful long time. 7 straight seasons they've missed the playoffs. The last playoff game they played was the Game 7 of the 2006 Stanley Cup Final. They lost in Raleigh, North Carolina. They've not been back there since. Longest drought in the league.
And that is frustrating when you think that you get to the Stanley Cup Final and you expect great things to continue. And for the Edmonton Oilers, the great things that have continued are the #1 draft picks overall. Very tough being an Edmonton Oilers fan lately. It's been, we're going to rebuild, but that process has taken much too long, and a little patience is needed with the group they've got, and they've got the talent, and they should be in the playoffs. And I don't think they'll be there this year. I think that drought will continue, but it shouldn't be much longer with the players they've got in this organization.
Justin Schultz picks that puck off the boards, moves it around to Ferris. His shot finds its way through. The puck is kept alive by Hemsky. Hemsky into Mark Arcobello, who's got his hands full with a veteran defenseman, Bouillon. Back to the line, here's Ferris. Ferris crisply across to Schultz. Schultz takes a shot that goes off a leg and into the corner. Back to the line, good pressure here and a good stop by Budaj. Edmonton pushing for the second goal of the game here. Ferris hustling in there against Galchenyuk. Keeps it in. Bodies collide along the end boards, and finally Nathan Beaulieu comes away. Tries to flip a long pass ahead to Galchenyuk. He's got him. Galchenyuk stops up, shoots, and there's just no daylight in behind 6'6" Devin Dubnyk.
Well, it's a great play by Galchenyuk, but I think he waited a little too long. I would have liked to have seen him shoot off the initial rush. He tried to change his angle with Gallagher driving the net, but what a great pass. Nathan Beaulieu, they've been pinned in their own zone for 20 seconds. Has a presence of mind to flip it, a little backspin to hold it, but like I said, if Galchenyuk shoots that on the initial rush, I don't think he felt he had the opportunity with the defenseman sliding through, as Schultz came sliding through to block it. But great play by Beaulieu to get the puck up and out, and Galchenyuk to try to create some offense. And he had his teammate driving the net. See if the Canadiens can build off that little burst of offense. They've been trapped in their zone since Smith's power play goal.
Edmonton won another face-off there against David Desharnais. And the puck ends up in the Montreal zone. Rafael Diaz to the line, not out. Bella pushes it right back in there. Faceoffs are actually dead even to this point of the game. 19 wins apiece against what has been a very good faceoff team at this early stage of the season for the Edmonton Oilers. Here comes Everly. Everly trying to find some room now. Now the left side curls back, and he's pounded there by Rennie Boyd. Nugent Hopkins trying to muscle his way free and cannot do it. Ladislav Smith trying to poke and keep it in, and it goes down the ice. Hustling back after it is Nick Schultz. Schultz, who wears one of the A's here in Edmonton. This is his 3rd year now as an Oiler after 10 years as a member of the Minnesota Wild. Smith. Into the corner for Schultz. He's hammered hard by Pacioretty. That keeps the pressure on. It's met by Subban. Subban around the boards, meeting behind the net is Pacioretty. Goes back to the line for Markov. Down low, and a backhand in front. Briere. Dubnyk looking for it, and he's got it on the far post on a pretty looking setup. And Briere almost had his first goal.
Nick Schultz is going to take a cross-checking penalty. Briere may have had that goal, Dave, if he didn't get cross-checked by Schultz in front of the net. The Montreal Canadiens are going to go to the power play, but a great flurry down low. Great job. It all started with a Pacioretty hit on the near side, and then it got some good puck movement as Eller puts it to the net, and Briere in a perfect position to bang one in.
Edmonton penalty to 15. It's a minor penalty for cross-checking.
So he gets the minor for the cross-check, and Montreal gets its second power play.
You can see Briere's in perfect position. There's the cross-check in the lower back of Briere, and it just tosses Briere into Dubnyk. But Briere is standing, waiting for the puck, the bouncing puck from Eller. Great opportunity down low by the Habs, draws a penalty. Let's see if they can match what the Edmonton Oilers did earlier in the period and get a power play goal.
Ryan Smith scored with a man advantage earlier in this period. And they are going to redo this face-off here.
The Edmonton Oilers, Dave, we talked about face-off, was 63% in their game against New Jersey in the last game. That's how strong they were. And Will Acton played with the Marlies. The Dallas Eakins is very good on face-offs. His father, Keith Acton, was out and he's an assistant coach. They were working on face-offs in the morning skate. Take pride in that. It's a huge part of today's game.
Keith Acton, now a member of the coaching staff here, former Oiler himself, drafted by the Canadiens way back when. Here's a chance in front. Plekanec couldn't get that onto his forehead, get a shot away. PK Subban to Galchenyuk. Galchenyuk with Plekanec and Gallagher up front, and Will Acton sends that all the way down the ice.
Thomas Plekanec not moving his feet down low. He really tried to force a bank pass off the boards to Subban. He's got to get his feet moving on this power play down below the goal line and get away from Edmonton defenders.
Now Andrew Ference has lost his stick. It broke as he tried to clear it, and he's got the long change. So an advantage here for the Canadiens. Gallagher down low. Here's Galchenyuk, backs up, centers, and Gallagher scores! The Edmonton boy comes home and scores against the Oilers to tie it up.
Brendan Gallagher, you find him right around that blue pane on the power play. He comes in the back door and is the recipient of a beautiful pass by Alex Galchenyuk. We're going to see Brendan Gallagher a little earlier before the penalty with a great, at the start of the penalty face-off, a great little back pass between the legs, showing some great skill. Then he gets the puck and he actually takes it in on Ference, and it allows the puck to get low with Ference without the stick. Smart play by Gallagher to drive it right at Ference. He dishes it off, and it's Galchenyuk with a great backdoor pass to Gallagher, who bangs it in the open side to tie the game at 1. Brendan Gallagher, a smart player, by driving that puck to a defenseman without a stick where Ference had broken his stick, and that allowed his teammates to spread out and really allowed that play to develop down beside the goal.
Brendan Gallagher had 15 goals last season when he was a Calder Trophy finalist in his rookie year. That is his third already on the power play, and what a thrill. This is 2 big games for him tonight in the city in which he was born. He moved away when he was 12 years old and still has lots of friends and relatives here, and then he's going to go play in Vancouver, where he really grew up and played for the Vancouver Giants. And that's a big one on the power play, so both teams scoring with a man advantage, and we're all tied up again, 1-1. Biloff fights that puck, but finds it and sends it in. At the midway mark of this second period.
The Oilers really built off of their power play goal.
Here's Gianta with a big drive, and a big rebound was there for Bourne just for a second. Here's Yakupov trying to get away from Darnay, and he does. Yakupov with a wrist shot, and Budaj kicked that one out. Yakupov still with it, trying to find it in all kinds of traffic, and eventually it's taken away by Pacioretty, who comes away with Daniel Briere. Pacioretty had his stick slashed, looked at the referee, no call coming. And this is hybrid icing, is the call.
Well, the Canadiens were looking to build off their goal, such as Edmonton did, as you look at Daniel Briere, who drew the penalty by Nick Schultz, which allowed Gallagher to score. And by doing so, by pushing the puck and pushing the play, it seemed to open up for both teams, as both teams came down and had a couple of long shots. Pacioretty looking for a call as he got his stick knocked out of his hand. Normally you see those slashing calls go, but it didn't happen just before the icing. But That goal seemed to inspire Montreal. They've got a little more jump.
Here's a good face-off win by Briere. Warzeller cycles it back. Pacioretty tries to poke it around. That goes over top of Briere. Two Canadiens collide in on Everly. Around the boards where it's met by Bouillon.
Sorry, Frank, you should have pulled it.
And Edmonton will come away. Here's Ladislav Schmid at center. Schmid carries in over the line. As Bouillon kind of flat-footed for a moment there. Centers it, and the only guy there is Eller. Beaulieu's pass misses. This goes down the ice. And this will be icing against the Canadiens.
Well, Nathan Beaulieu, you could see on that one-on-one, Dave, that he had a little bit of a stutter step, but you could also see the great skills that he possessed when he picked up that puck in his own zone. He was able to quickly go from the defense onto the offense. He threw the pass and missed it and went for icing. But boy, oh boy, this young man has got some tremendous upside. When he gets that puck, he can make things happen in a hurry. It's the defensive part of the game that J.J. Daigneault and the Montreal Canadiens coaching staff are going to continue to work on and develop those skills for him. And here he goes again.
First round draft pick in 2012, 17th overall. Had some off-ice issues that were cleared up in the summer months. Now he says, I just want to focus on hockey, get my career going here. He's getting an opportunity to play his first game of the season. This one's kept in by Justin Schultz. Schultz was that highly sought-after free agent out of the University of Wisconsin. Never made the playoffs there. His last playoff game was in Tier 2 Junior in BC. Here comes Subban in over the line, drops it off for Prust. Prust wrist shot out of an off-speed pitch that Dubnyk handled with his blocker. Here's Bornefall now, centers it, and just missed Prust. Or Mullen out in front. Now here's Subban up top. Dancing away from Boyd Gordon. Finds Mullen, who puts it in for Prust. Scores! Brandon Prust makes it 2-1 Montreal.
David, I thought Brandon Prust was going to miss this opportunity. He took a whiff at it. You can see he's kind of laughing when he gets to the bench. I'm sure his first teammate was giving 2 shots. You want 3. But it's a great play by Bourneval and a super little spinorama by PK Subban. Gets it in. The puck gets to net. There's the whiff. Oh, it was actually off his skate. He actually kept the play alive. It looked like he had missed it on that one there. And then he kicks it up and bangs it in. Nice play by Mullen to get the puck to the net. And Subban to keep the play alive at the blue line, and big, tall Devin Dubnyk just couldn't reach out far enough with the left leg as Brandon Prust drives the puck to the net, kicks it onto his skate, and gives his team a 2-1 lead. Great shift by the fourth line, and it was all Michael Bourneval working that puck down low to get it back to the point, and Subban able to keep it in. Some nice plays and a nice finish by Brandon Prust.
Brandon Prust, who used to make a living playing hockey here in the province of Alberta for the Calgary Flames, and he was voted an unsung hero there. He was voted an unsung hero in New York. Same thing in Montreal. Everywhere he goes, he brings that intangible element. And right now, he's got the go-ahead goal with 7:22 to go in the second period. Back-to-back goals by the Canadiens. One by Gallagher, and the second one by Brandon Prust.
Now he goes right in front of the net for the screen on Dubnyk. Dubnyk is looking around, trying to find where the puck is, and as Dubnyk goes to his right, the puck goes left, all because of the Bourneval screen. Great job by Michael Bourneval. You won't see his name on the score sheet when you look at the end of the day on the game sheet, but you will see the fact that his teammates and his coach realized what an important role he was on that goal, and that's where a skilled fourth-line center is so important to your team. He created some offense down low, and eventually the puck ended up in the net. Great job by Bourneval, and he's proving that he can play in the National Hockey League for the Montreal Canadiens.
He's a former captain in Shawinigan, the team that won the Memorial Cup in 2012, so he knows what time it is when you need to compete and bring that little extra. Ryan Giunta, written out there by Arcabello, who smartly gets it away to Hemsky, who's at center. Here's Alex Hemsky, gives it up to Perron. Diaz met him, and it goes in behind the Montreal net. There's been some heavy hits in this game, and Georges has been the recipient of a couple. Here's Schultz now. Schultz drips a shot and then flutters over the stick of Budaj, who got tied up with one of his teammates. Here's Perron now. Perron on his backhand all the way around the edge. Still with it, centers it in front. And Hemsky, or rather Nugent Hopkins, could not find it on his stick.
We're going to wave this icing off, Dave, because the Edmonton Oilers had a bad line change. If they touched that puck, there would have too many men on the ice. That's why it was waved off, because of the line change. A little bit of a break for Montreal, but they're not able to take advantage of it.
Edmonton trying to physically take advantage. Creator of a Montreal team that played last night. The hits are 21-7 in favor of the Oilers. Pacioretty, backhander, goes wide, gets his own rebound, and cannot center it. Nugent Hopkins into heavy traffic for Everly, who was getting lined up there. Pacioretty dumps it back in. Men to the far boards by Eller. Back towards the net. Bounces straight to the near point for Beaulieu. Puts a shot in front. Kind of a pass shot, looking for a tip. And Briere's back there. Everybody down low, digging for that puck. Nugent Hopkins finds some space for Hall. Subban lost his footing, and now they've turned it over to Eller. He centers it. Didn't get a clean pass away because the referee got in the way. Ferentz goes in there and takes care of Eller.
Eller would have loved to have thrown that out right away, but you're right, he couldn't. He had to wait for the referee to move before he could make the pass.
Nugent Hopkins drops it off for Hall. This line at the end of a long shift. The puck goes up and out of play with just under 5 minutes remaining in a one-goal lead for the Canadiens. Found himself kind of tied up in the action a moment ago.
He did. Taylor Hall with a bad giveaway. Daniel Briere comes in with a good pressure, but Taylor Hall gives it away, and Lars Eller wanted to get that puck to Pacioretty right away. But unfortunately, Tom Cowell found himself in a bad position down below the net. The good pressure by the Habs afterwards, but it took away a fantastic scoring opportunity. It would be a good one-touch play. But sometimes it happens. You've got to play. There's some place. Sometimes referees have nowhere to hide in that situation. I'm sure he wanted to get out of the way, but these things do happen.
There's Marc Bergevin on the left. A couple of boxes down from us here. Arcabello against Placanitz in this face-off deep in the Montreal zone, and it is controlled by Montreal. Marc Arcabello, a graduate of Yale University. I'm back with Marc Bergevin, who tries to instill this. Last season we saw it. He wanted to instill this attitude of no excuses, and he wanted that to carry through to tonight as well.
Well, I think he'd be very happy with the way that this game has developed. Early in the second, Edmonton seemed to get some momentum off their power play goal, but no question the Montreal Canadiens have come to play in this game, and they're showing it in the second period. They've really elevated since they tied this game at 2. I love that no excuses saying by this team. That's fantastic. That was very smart.
Got a great clip of him talking to all the rookies at rookie camp in the intermission, and that clip from 24CH. Here comes Everly at center. He's got Arcabello with him. Marc Arcabello stops up, fakes the shot, still with it, then snaps the wrist shot that is blocked right in front of him easily by Josh Georges.
A very nice play by Georges to hold position.
Here's Mullen now, drifts it in front. Dubnyk missed that, and it goes into the corner. Here's Subban, jumps on the loose puck. PK Subban in front, and it's in behind Brandon Prust. Prust waits for it down low. Petrie meets him. Belov comes in to help out as well. And now Hall with some room to carry it in. Taylor Hall one-on-one dances around Markov, but Markov had the last save, bumps him off the puck. So the Oilers keep it in. Ferentz puts it in towards the net. Bounces off of the inboards and right into the slot. Gallagher now back the other way. Close call there for the Oilers. And here they come again. It's Hemsky shoots. Saved by Budaj. Placanitz now. Things have opened up. He tries to dance around his man and goes into the corner. Ferentz is there to help out. In front for Gallagher. Backhander. Loose. Placanitz tries. Here's Galchenyuk now. Alex Galchenyuk turns it over to Hall. Hall to Hemsky. Following up behind him is Ryan Nugent Hopkins. The 21-year-old banks into Smith. Smith. Nick Schultz fires a wrist shot high over the outstretched glove of Budaj. Chances at either end right now. Here's Schultz again. Winds and his slap shot is well high and off the mark. Final 3 minutes here. Oilers pressing to time. Beaulieu up the board. Softly not going to get there. Schultz keeps it in. Behind the net is Smith. Wraparound. Budaj beats it to the far post. And the Canadiens get an early whistle. Puck was looser. Did the net come off? It doesn't appear as though it did, but regardless, play is stopped with 2:28 to go.
Tom Cowell didn't see the puck as there was great pressure. David Perron did a fantastic job. Ryan Smith right in the crease, and Peter Budaj is able to see the puck. As the puck gets shot in, you can see that shot earlier by Ference, and this comes out the short side on Budaj. Then we come back right back down. Some great pressure by the Oilers. Great stop with the blocker by Peter Budaj. But you talk about the small nets and the way the puck bounces out. Ryan Smith trying to jam it in on the wraparound. Last year, those plays probably wouldn't have happened because the nets were a little larger on the bottom. They're a little smaller this year, and that is creating some great opportunities, such as the funny bounce that Peter Budaj had go out behind him on the near side shot from Ference. So some interesting plays with those smaller nets happening this season and right here today in Edmonton.
Here's Jeff Petrie now. Petrie, a smooth skating defenseman, centers it in front. Backhand attempt looking for Arcobello on the backside. Off the feed there from Jordan Eberle. He's got no shortage of imagination. There's a long drive kicked out by Budaj. A hard shot from Petrie on a good one-timer.
You see Budaj on that situation was tight to the post as he made the save, expecting the puck to pop out. With Jordan Eberle, very creative. He's had a fantastic career so far with the Edmonton Oilers, but Peter Budaj, watching that puck, we're going to get a good look as here comes the shot. See how Budaj gets back quickly on the post, and he pulls that puck in. Interesting to see the small angle on the nets on the rounded part, Dave. Last year, they were much bigger. They've shrunk the nets by a little bit, and just by that little bit, it's created some interesting bounces coming out backwards for the goaltenders, and Peter Budaj handling it today very well.
Quick release there by Nugent Hopkins, blocked in front and chipped out of the zone by the Canadiens. Nice feed from Nugent Hopkins to Schultz. Schultz to Perron. His wrist shot goes off the stick of PK and out of play with a minute and a half to go, 91 seconds to be exact in this second period. All the goals have come in the middle frame.
PK Subban's doing a great job. He's worked his hardest to get the next goal. He's had some great rushes in the offensive zone, and there you saw some solid defense by the Norris Trophy winner. PK Subban is a huge part of this Montreal Canadiens team on the back end, and they dearly missed him when he was in the box with that penalty yesterday at the end of the game. Not only did he put his team in trouble, but they could have used him on the ice to try to tie it up.
Here's Ference. He takes a long-range shot, gobbled up by Budaj. You know, to finish your thought there on that late penalty by PK last night, it was such a, really, I think PK would agree, a silly penalty to take. The cross-checking, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4.
He won't say it publicly, but the final one might have been one that he did not. He probably wanted to bring back, but there was a little battle going on between him and the referees throughout that game as he ran into some penalty problems earlier in the game as well, and some non-calls that he thought. So I think it's a little jostling back and forth cost him that penalty as well, not just the cross-checks.
Ference gives it up. Here's Taylor Hall. They gave him a lot of room there, and his shot does not make it through. Here's Hall out of the corner. Banks it off the boards to Eberle. Eberle makes one move and couldn't get it on his backhand for a shot.
Last minute of play in the second.
Thomas Plekanec drifts one in to Dubnyk, who just pushes it to the end boards here in the final minute of this second period. Eller chips at it. Mullen looks skyward and then puts it back to the line for Diaz. Press centers it, looking for Eller. He takes a chop at it. His stick got in the lane there of some Oilers, and they're going to get one chance to carry it back out here. Arcobello playing an awful lot. Turns it over and then makes the play to keep the puck alive, but it's flipped right back in by Subban. They're going to call that icing.
Yeah.
So PK was on the wrong side of center, and this is going to bring the face-off right back to the right of Budaj again.
PK Subban not happy about that call. He felt that he should get the benefit of the doubt. He was close, but he definitely was not on the red line or over the red line when he just chipped it in. But a little bit of a give and take in the neutral zone with Brian Giunta and Mark Arcabello, and then it ended up with Subban chipping it in, trying to get it deep, and it reversed on him. Now it's deep in his own zone.
Edmonton wins the draw. Here's Nugent Hopkins. Did not get a good piece of that when it goes into the corner for David Perron. Perron, backhand feed all the way to the line. It goes into the corner for Alex Hemsky. Nugent Hopkins. Perron. Here's the Nuge again. Tries to cut out in front. Smead following up with a shot. Nugent Hopkins fires wide. And that will do it. And in behind the nets, PK is pushing and shoving with the Sherbrooke native, David Perron. Cooler heads will prevail, and the two teams will head to their locker rooms. And it is a one-goal lead for the Montreal Canadiens as Edmonton scored first, but Montreal answered right back on goals by Gallagher and Prust. Through 40 minutes of play, it's 2-1. You're watching the Canadiens on TSN. That's it for the third period here at Rexall Place. Here's a look at the scoring summary. As mentioned, all three goals scored in that second period. And of note on the second goal there by Brendan Gallagher, they've taken Plekanec off as one of the assists and added PK Subban. So he now has 2 points tonight, helping set up both goals in a game in which the Canadiens lead by 1.
Well, Dave, there's David Desharnais, another David, and he had a pretty solid second period. And I think in the third period, the way he rounded out and finished out the second period, I think Desharnais is going to come up big for the Habs in this third period, and he's starting at center ice to start the third period.
Montreal has outscored the opposition so far 5-2 in third periods. And they're going to work right away in the Edmonton zone. Trying to center it out in front for Desharnais. And he was buried there by the much larger Jeff Petrie. Here's Subban. Keeps it in on his backhand. Into the corner for Jeff Petrie. And Petrie will buy some time and bank it off of the inboards, and the Oilers will start out. Nugent Hopkins had his pocket picked almost there by Desharnais. Here's Lars Eller. Will the Great Dane score again tonight to keep his goal-scoring streak alive? Taylor Hall powers in over the line, stops up, tries to drive move, and he runs right into Georges, and both players went down. Back in, here's Everly trying to look for that puck, and again, Georges quickly back in defensive position. What a collision that was.
Big-time collision.
That is kept in at the line. Ferris moves it across. Arcabello can't get it towards the net, and Eller got his stick in the way. Players dig forward along the sideboards, and it's scooped aside and down the ice by Max Pacioretty.
Both teams pushing hard in this start of the third period. Edmonton trying to tie it up. A good push by this top line. And the Montreal Canadiens themselves battling hard back. It's a good pace so far.
Well, it was the third period on Monday night in this building where the Edmonton Oilers roared back from a 3-0 deficit. Took a 4-3 lead. The Devils tied it late, and the Oilers ended up winning in the shootout. This building was on fire. So the Oilers are not to be underestimated in this final 20 minutes. Long pass up ahead, in over the line, and that was Yakupova. The puck taken away. Here's Bournemouth back the other way. Bournemouth with a wrist shot, and that is snared by Dubnyk.
You know, Dave, for a guy who was questionable to play, and that was Josh Georges, Taylor Hall has the puck. He's a big power forward, one of the best in the game, and he gets the puck full tilt. And Josh Georges lines him up. Great chest-to-chest hit. You cannot teach that any better than what Josh Georges just did on Taylor Hall. He stood him up. He had a bigger opponent in Taylor Hall, and he just went face first, chest-to-chest, and laid Taylor Hall out.
Josh Georges always physical, always blocking shots. And you're right, that was a big-time collision. Into the corner, Montreal back to work. Press puts it towards the net. Moen is on the doorstep, and play is whistled down as the puck does score free.
Here are the lucky winning numbers in tonight's Kids Pack draw.
Once again, a very solid shift by Prust, Moen, and Bourneval putting pucks to the net. Just a simple play. This is a simple play. He looks up, Prust realizes, you know what, I'm not going to be able to pass it to the slot. I'm going to throw it to the net. I've already got my one teammate there. My second teammate's going. Nice little play by Moen, who's really picked this game up. I thought he struggled a bit versus Calgary. I think he's struggled so far in this season, but in this game, I think he's really played well. He's had a couple of very nice plays down low. He's created some opportunities. He's banged well. Bourneval's looked pretty good in the middle of Prust and Moen today.
Of course, you get those two big bookends rumbling in Moen and Prust. And Bourneval skating the way he is in his second National Hockey League game. It's a nice combination. Ryan White is the odd man out tonight. Former Calgary hitman, played last night. Here comes Nugent. Hopkins drops it off for Everly. Hit shot stopped by Buda.
He might have hit Nugent Hopkins on the way in. Buda had to be quick.
Barrett back towards the net. Perron in behind. Works his way out. Turns and fires. Buda got a piece of that as Subban had Nugent Hopkins tied up in front. Chipped into the Oilers zone. Here's Barrett. Backs up. Makes the smart pass. And Edmonton starts away at center. Dancing in there is Mike Brown, the former Toronto Maple Leaf, and he takes Rafael Diaz into the boards high. Now at center, here comes Eller. Eller with a wide side pass. Wrist shot by Pacioretty. Blocker saved by Zubin. Briere tries to dig it free. Eller uses his body to draw the puck loose along the end boards. Diaz puts it back in there. Into the corner it goes. There's a mismatch here for the Canadiens up against Edmonton's fourth line, trying to take advantage. Pacioretty races after it. Puts it back into the corner for Eller. Picks it up on his backhand. Centers it in front. Pacioretty. Rebound. Dubnyk got both of them. Two great stops on Max Pacioretty. Across now to Diaz. Gets it back. Puts it into traffic. This fourth line is dead out of gas, and they can't change. Now they finally do.
Dallas Eakins trying to get his fourth line out to get that energy shift up. They had one bang down low, and they've been stuck in their own zone, giving up some pretty good opportunities. But Devin Dubnyk had to be sharp.
He got the energy up all right. Montreal.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it backfires on you.
Here's Galchenyuk, straddles the line, keeps it. No, I thought he kept it in, but he did not. So it's offside at the line.
One extra stick handle for Alex Galchenyuk. Great shift by Lars Eller down deep with a couple of body checks, pinching the man up, takes Brown out of the play, and holding on to Brown. Brown looking for a penalty, but Eller throwing his weight around then. A great pickup on the backhand, a one-handed pass to Pacioretty, who gets the shot in. Briere right in front again, isn't able to pick up the rebound. What a great shift by Pacioretty with Eller in the middle and Briere on the right side, creating some good opportunities. And it turned out that it was Lars Eller throwing his weight around against Edmonton's fourth line and completely reversed what Dallas Eakins wanted his fourth line to do. Montreal had some great momentum for the last couple minutes.
You're right about Pacioretty, too. The leading scorer for the Canadiens for the second consecutive season, still looking for his first goal. And Montreal is offside at the line again.
Well, you can see Plekanec's coming up the middle. Normally that would be Eller on this line, and Galchenyuk just kept on going with Gallagher, and they were offside. They expected the puck to come a little quicker. These are the nuances of playing with different line mates. Normally Eller would get the puck, move it just that much quicker, and not force the offside. But when you're a winger and you expect the puck, you're not going to let up. And if it doesn't come, sometimes it happens. You go offside. Tough break for the Habs.
Not shy, he's throwing that fourth line right back out there.
Montreal puts their fourth line out. Exactly. Dallas Eakins comes back, give him a bit of confidence. That's, you know what, that's pretty good of Dallas Eakins to put that line out after they just got stuck in their own zone. A few of these guys are probably still gasping to catch their breath.
Here comes Ball to Press. Press rolling puck. And he got the shot away, but it goes up and over the net. Bulio fires, and that's blocked by Will Acton. Acton's got some help. He's got Hall with him. Taylor Hall in behind the net. Ran out of room. Petrie now far side. Press runs over Eberle and knocks him off of the puck. Bulio to center and in.
Well, that Prust hit deep got everybody on the Edmonton Oilers bench up as they were all chirping as Eberle went flying. Prust a good clean check in the defensive zone right in front of his own net. But there's not one blue jersey like that in Edmonton. This game's starting to heat up a little bit.
This game has been quite physical. Here comes Eberle trying to dance his way in on the backhand. Rebound after the save. Budaj got that one too. Two quick saves in succession by Peter Budaj. Eberle on his backhand. Arcobello up there trying to get it out in front. Andrew Ferentz overskated the puck, but Hall helps out. Hall goes far side, waiting for it is Schultz. He puts it into traffic, and that is kicked out there by Budaj. Bounces off the inboard straight to Rafael Diaz.
Great job by Edmonton. Their defense activating Justin Schultz on the right side, Andrew Ferentz on the left side, keeping pucks in, allowing the top line with Hall and Nugent Hopkins and Eberle to really get some things done down low. Great effort by Edmonton, and now you can hear the crowd has just responded as they're backing their home team after a great shift down low by the top line in Edmonton.
Markov to Subban, and he's going to take off. Subban, headman, so puck to Pacioretty, gives it back. Subban in front, was looking for the trailer and couldn't find him as Bolio has stepped up. No, that's Briere, and now it's Markov. As that clearing attempt goes off a shin, and it stays in the Montreal zone. Subban looking with Yakupov. Budaj is down, and he keeps it out. All kinds of bodies right in front of him, including PK Subban.
Goes from one end to the other. Subban trying to hit Briere on the back door. Creating a bit of a 2-on-1 back the other way, and then Yakupov trying to wrap it around. Some great opportunities for both teams.
Look out, Galchenyuk. Bouncing puck on Petrie, and he's got it. In front, Gallagher just missed off the great work by Alex Galchenyuk, and it was almost 3-1. Beaulieu hard into the Oilers zone. He saw that rolling puck on the stick of Petrie's stick, and Galchenyuk pounced. Cross-ice pass for Perron. Return feed. And here's Perron again with Hemsky in front and Nugent Hopkins. That comes off the boards. Petrie chips at it, and that goes off a stick and out of play, and so the faceoff will stay inside the Montreal zone. Brandon Prust runs over one of the franchise guys here in Edmonton in a one-goal game. There's Peter Budaj, whose career record against the Oilers is 14-6-3. 14 wins, mostly from his days, obviously, as a Colorado Avalanche, more than any other opponent.
Well, if you want to sell the game, Peter Budaj had to make some great games. If you want to sell the game, just watch this highlight pack. At one end, it's Eberle and Hall. At the other end, it's Subban and Briere just missing, and it comes right back down. It's Yakupov trying to take it out in front as Smith crashes the net, and then it's already back the other way. A little miscue down low by Patriots. Galchenyuk out to Gallagher. This all happens without a whistle. Watch, Gallagher gets buried, pops right back up, and gets back in the play. Great action here in Edmonton by two teams who are putting on a fantastic show as the Habs are still able to hold on to their 2-1 lead.
Can the Oilers mount another third period comeback? That's what the fans are wondering here tonight. Here's Hall dancing it over the line, trying to toe drag move. Eberle supports, keeps the puck in deep. Diaz is in the corner, tries to push it up the boards. And it's kept in there momentarily by Ferentz, and now he and Gionta are going to get the sticks up. Andrew Ferentz, 7 years as a Boston Bruin. He told me at the intermission that quite familiar with facing these guys, and he probably had more than one battle with Brian Giunta.
Oh, no question, pinching in as the left defenseman and Giunta on the right side. Giunta battling hard as the puck just popped out over the line, but you can see the sticks up between the legs, pushing and shoving. They're both about the same height. The old face wash from both players going both ways. Two captains of both teams leading the charge. That's just typical the way the game's gone. It's been great offensive chances, great physical battles at every part of the ice. This has been a very entertaining hockey game. Two teams both want to get these 2 points in regulation. No doubt they can start getting some momentum going on their sides.
The first of 2 meetings between the two this season. The next one, they don't have to wait long, will be at the Bell Center later this month.
You see Perron right there. It looked like he gave a little poke at Subban. Probably went back a little earlier in the game, but they're jousting on loose pucks.
Eller trying to backhand feed, but it was in between Subban and Markov, and Andrei Markov has to hustle back after it. Here's Taylor Hall. The two-time Memorial Cup champion and Memorial Cup MVP is Hall, who played for Canada in the World Championship last spring. Plekanec goes near side for Galchenyuk. Alex Galchenyuk trying to make a move, had the puck poked away from him, and Hall's going to come back down the other way. Down the left side, here's Hall in front. Almost had Yakupov, and Montreal's going to turn it back. Here comes Gallagher. In over the line, puts it towards the net, off the foot of Galchenyuk, and play is whistled down as the puck had touched the netting in behind Devan Dubnyk.
Great back check by Thomas Plekanec there, but once again, end-to-end action in Edmonton.
2-1, Montreal, 9:26 to go in the third.
Dave, it's little things in the game. It's little things like getting pucks to the net. Galchenyuk decides to pull back. He gets poke checked. It's a 3-on-2 back the other way. And then the other little things in the game are back checks. 3 halves back check. Plekanec breaks the play up, and because it was a strong back check by Gallagher and Galchenyuk, the puck is taken the other way on an offensive opportunity. So little things, get pucks to the net, don't overhandle the pucks, and hard back checks by every player on the ice has worked out for the Montreal Canadiens there. Both teams going end-to-end. The difference in this game, Dave, we talked about the way the Edmonton came back against New Jersey, scoring 4 in the third period. The New Jersey Devils stopped skating on the Edmonton Oilers. The Montreal Canadiens in this game are matching the speed of these Edmonton Oilers in this game, and especially in the third period.
And another difference, Dave, between the last meeting between these two teams in March of 2012. Montreal won that night 5-3. Budaj was in net. Max Pacioretty had a big night. But those two teams were out of it by then. They were both not going to make it to the playoffs. Here's a cross-ice pass for Schultz. Moves around, Prost, and then centers it back to the line for Petrie. Petrie dances the line, throws it out in front. Ryan Smith took that one up high. And it's back into the Oilers zone.
Canadians are doing a great job to get in front of those long point shots. They're giving nothing to the point men. If there is a shot, they're stepping up and blocking it. And Budaj isn't worrying about pucks getting through 3 or 4 bodies because it's being blocked before it gets to him.
Giunta can't get that puck up the boards. Look out, back towards the net. Bouillon's got to hustle. He's got a man on him. It's Perron. And Desharnais finishes the job and get it out to center right. Bolio flips that one up in the air, and it rolls back down towards Dubnyk. There is Ferris, the 34-year-old veteran. Edmonton spreads it out, and Nugent Hopkins comes in over the line with some speed on his backhand, rings it around the net, into the corner. And Gallagher just takes the puck away from him and takes off. He's got a 2-on-1. Gallagher in, Galchenyuk scores! What a beauty! And it's 3-1 Montreal.
Alex Galchenyuk with his first goal of the season, second point of the night, and boy, what a beauty. He set up Gallagher early in the game on a power play with a beautiful sauce pass. This time, it's Gallagher, delays long enough, forces Dubnyk to wait as he throws a beautiful pass under Petrie's stick. Galchenyuk makes no mistake as he puts it high enough to go over Dubnyk. Great 2-on-1 finish by the Montreal Canadiens. They catch the Edmonton Oilers pushing for the tying goal late in the third period, and they turn it around to make a 2-on-1 with the two top players, young Gallagher and Galchenyuk, in their second year, leading the charge once again in this game. What a great tandem they have been. Whether they've got Plekanec or Eller in the middle, they've been absolutely outstanding.
Oh, there is a dangerous hit along the far boards, and that is going to draw a crowd. Lars Eller with a hit from behind on Hall.
Taylor Hall is checking his mouth. He obviously went face first into the dasher, and Lars Eller will be interested to see if he's going to stay in this game. That was a dangerous hit. He hit Hall a little high. Hall was a few feet off the boards, I think a little farther than Eller thought, as Eller went in and gave him a pretty good shove from behind. Ryan Smith asking for more than probably 2 or 4 on this play. They can call it a 4-minute minor.
Hall is up.
81 Montreal, it's 2 minutes for boarding.
And he's going to get a 2-minute minor for boarding. Wow,
that's dangerous. He hits him low. He hits him in the top of the pan, but he pushes him. But that's why I say Hall is that extra foot or 2 away from the boards, which makes it dangerous. If Hall is close to the boards, that's not a dangerous play. And Eller misreads that as he leans in on Hall. And I think he's fortunate only to get 2. Hall is fortunate to still be in the game as he went face first into the boards.
Now the Oilers get an opportunity to get back within 1 on that power play. 7:27 remaining here in the third period.
Lars Eller has been such a huge part of this Montreal team this last season and this season. Very uncharacteristic of Lars Eller, but as soon as he hit Taylor Hall, he knew exactly where he was going to end up. That was the penalty box, and he's fortunate he's only in there for 2.
Boyd Gordon controls that draw, pulls it back to Justin Schultz. Perron is on the other point along with Schultz. Here's Schultz at the top. Wrist shot blocked by Plekanec and sent down the ice.
Good job by Plekanec. He actually broke his stick before he shot the puck down the ice. He was able to get this puck down the ice, then threw his stick down, realizing it was broken, but great job by closing that gap and using his stick to block the shot.
Here comes Perron again. Aaron's pass, and look out. Here comes Pacioretty in, short-handed, stopped by Dubnyk, who got just a piece. Georges fires it right back down. Edmonton has a total of 2 shots on net on 3 power plays. One of them from about half a foot from Ryan Smith. Their lone goal so far tonight. Players collide along the end boards. Puck is poked free. Round it goes to the point. Pacioretty digs it free and sends it down.
Now, Dave, the last play, Yakupov did a little chip in, a little bit of a dump in, not a full dump in, but he got the blue line and he chipped it at the blue line. Most of the time, the Oilers on the power play, they want to carry the puck in directly. They do not want to dump the puck in. That's where the turnovers create. Look at this, back and step up. But the Habs have done a pretty good job of denying entry by the Oilers.
Well, they've entered now. They've been able to set up with 35 seconds to go in this power play. Here's the pass back, and a blocked shot by Preston. That stung, got him in the arm. Picks up his stick. There's a shot. Knocked down in front, did not reach Budaj. Markov down the ice.
The Habs are doing a very good job being in the shooting lanes. Press doing it right there, and then a great job down low by Markov picking the puck off of Eberle and clearing it.
Here's Hemsky. Hemsky on his backhand, feeds it into the corner. Eller steps out of the box, team's back at even strength. Smeed tries to feed a shot in front, tipped into the corner. No shots for the Oilers on that power play. Hall pulls the puck off the inboards, looking for some room. Cross-ice pass. There isn't any right now. Montreal very sound in its own end. Hemsky back to the line. Belov keeps it in. Off the boards. Belov is there again to put it right back into the corner.
Those are the Hab fans.
It sounds like the Bells are in here all of a sudden.
It does.
And that is offside at the line. 4:38 to go. It's a 2-goal lead after Alex Galchenyuk scores his first of the season. This is the Canadiens on TSN.
Max Pacioretty does a great job of picking this puck up. There's the turnover when the Edmonton Oilers wanted to carry the puck in on the power play. Pacioretty comes down, gets a good shot, but Dubnyk makes the save, and then it's Brandon Prust goes down, loses his stick. Plekanec pushes it over to his teammate. Great job by Prust, and he goes to the bench, and who's the first guy to tap him? On the bench is Captain Brian Giante. Hey, good job, buddy. That's what teammates are all about, picking each other up, and Brandon Prust does a fantastic job once again of leading the charge, protecting his teammates and blocking shots on the PK, which was just done a fantastic job this period. No shots on the last Edmonton power play,
which is now 1 for 4 on the night.
David Perron and Brendan Gallagher jostling here. I don't think David Perron wants to really bother Gallagher. I think he's going to be a little outmatched in that department. Gallagher's not going to go away.
Gallagher with a 2-point night in his hometown. Perron into some open ice into the corner. Delayed penalty call. No, there's no penalty call here. They have pulled the netminder here with 4:17 on the clock. Here's Belov with a drive and a great glove save by Peter Budaj.
One that Peter Budaj got the opportunity to see. A lot of shots blocked this period. As you see, Devan Dubnyk is already out with over 4 minutes to go. Peter Budaj just has to look around Jordan Eberle as he jumps by him and just reaches up with the glove and says, I will take that. The Habs are going to be tested here on a 6-on-5, something you don't practice a lot, and this could go for a while. This is a different situation.
What do you think of this? There's 4:12 on the clock.
I don't mind it. I think it's a little bit early. It's a gutsy move, no question. But you've got to get two, and you better get one now. So you're going to do it eventually. But I think it might just be a little bit early.
Empty net. Eller takes a shot, and this is going to come right back down.
Bad decision by Lars Eller. He's close enough to the center line. He didn't need to take the shot. And now he's chatting with Taylor Hall as they move back up to the faceoff dot. As you're looking at Dallas Eakins making the decision to pull his goaltender with over 4 minutes to go. Taylor Hall had a few words to say to Lars Eller. Lars Eller not the type of player to be overly aggressive in the mean department, but Taylor Hall just letting him know he didn't appreciate the hit.
Edmonton's best face-off man wins the draw again. Belov gets it to Nugent Hopkins. Nugent Hopkins on his backhand. Loose puck comes back to the line. Here is Belov. Hall on the boards. Gets it right back. Centering pass across the ice to Perron. David Perron trying to get away from Markov. Ran out of room, puts it in the corner. Waiting there for it was Lars Eller. Chips it down the ice.
This is where the Montreal Canadiens have to play the regular 5-on-5 style forecheck. Do not sit back. Continue to press the puck in the offensive zone. You're not killing a penalty. You're playing really 5-on-5 because in the defensive zone of Edmonton, there's not going to have the 6 bodies there. They're floating around the blue line.
Eberle was not on the ice for the first part of this. He's out there now, just came over the boards, and if anybody loves these type of magical situations, it's number 14 for the Oilers. Yakupov not out there either. Subban trying to get to center, and here's a break for Hall. He's got help. Hall in front. He hit the side of the net. That caught the post. Hall, that was close. Alashevsky almost made it 3-2. He gets onside. Now he's got the puck again. It is Eberle. Sharp angle shot handled by Budaj. Here's Hemsky now. Puts it down low. Bouncing puck. Diaz lost his stick and then somehow got it back. And this one goes along the dasher and stays in.
Great job by the Habs players not to touch it. The faceoff would have been deep in their own zone. Everybody pulled back and it bounced twice on the dasher to make its way out.
We're now into 2 minutes of 6-on-5 for the Oilers, and they've really only had the one great chance. Here comes Nail Yakupov. Smith takes a diving swipe at it, puts it back to the line where it's met by Justin Schultz. Schultz to Nick Schultz. And here is Perron. Perron forced by Georges. Cross-ice speed. One-timer is blocked as Yakupov stepped into it, but Diaz blocked it and cleared it. continuous action here, 6 on 5 with the Oiler nets empty. Oilers keep it in, goes into the corner for Perron. Perron tries to center it, goes across the crease to the near boards. Out of the corner is Perron. Lars Ziller knocks it away from him. Ryan Smith, the veteran, keeps it moving to Nugent Hopkins. Nugent Hopkins trying to get away from Bouillon, puts it back to the line, gets it right back. Here's Nugent Hopkins, and the pass hopped over the stick of Perron, who appears to be out of gas. Here's a quick release. And Budaj got a piece of that. Now here comes Bourque to center, and he can't get a shot away.
Smart play by Francis Bouillon down below his own goal line. He realized he couldn't go up the boards. Tape-to-tape pass to René Bourque in the middle, and an easy clear for Bourque.
Briere forces the Oilers back now to the final minute of a 3-1 game. Desperation time for Edmonton. Here comes Hall, trying to force the issue. Barrels in there against Georges. Those two bodies collide once again. They had a big collision earlier. Centering attempt for Nugent Hopkins. Here's Hall. Loose puck back in the net for Everly. He's watched by Subban. Nugent Hopkins puts it for Petrie. Petrie pulls that back, flutters a shot over the net. 27 seconds to go. Everly can't keep it in. Now Briere at center takes a good look. Pacioretty shoots, scores, and that will do it. It took them a while, but they finally put one into the empty net. And with 17.1 seconds on the clock, it is a 3-goal lead.
A great job by the Montreal Canadiens to really keep the puck to the outside. Great sticks, blocking shots, and Max Pacioretty is the recipient of an open net. Daniel Briere, both players looking for their first of the year. The Pacioretty blocked a shot earlier with his stick. The puck went up and over, and he's not going to miss this one. Good shot from out late. He gets a late hit after the shot, but fantastic job by the Montreal Canadiens to defend that 6 on 5, to really box out the Edmonton Oilers. Give the Oilers credit. They really didn't turn the puck over. They didn't give Edmonton, or they didn't give the Habs, other than that one opportunity, one shot at the open net.
An assist on that empty netter going to PK Subban, who has 3 tonight, so he's got 5 points in the last 2 games. And Montreal will not lose 2 in a row. They will not go 0 for Alberta. They're going to leave here with a 4-1 win. It is final. Peter Budaj, in his first start this season, does it again. He was arguably the best backup in the NHL last season, and he's 1-0 here, getting a win against Edmonton, the 15th win of his career against the Oilers.
Great job also by Brendan Gallagher up front, a goal and assist. Alex Galchenyuk, a goal and assist. They are 2 young, exciting players. Peter Budaj steps up and does his job. Pacioretty gets his first goal. Daniel Briere gets his first point. As the Montreal Canadiens, this was a big team win, top to bottom, for the Montreal Canadiens. Great way to finish this trip through Alberta.
This is what Canadiens fans saw from this team last year. They just do not lose 2 in a row very often, and they don't here tonight. We got more post-game reaction from Edmonton next.